Hi guys, B.E.D Brewer here. Today we're going to talk about honey. Now most of you are probably already going to start experimenting with honey at some point in time during your home brewing experience, but I will definitely encourage you to do so. It is an excellent ingredient. Definitely start with priming with it. You'd use 1/3 cup per 5 gallons of beer or 1 tablespoon per 5 liters of beer if you're kegging. The reason why you want to start here is because this ingredient is very potent. You will notice it even if you're only priming. It does give a distinctive floral aroma as well as a sweet, and I'm going to call it honey flavor, since I have been told that floral is not a flavor. But it does give that, it does maintain its flavor even after all of the sugars have been attenuated out of it. So your brain still interprets it as sweet. Now, when you do go ahead and experiment with it after you add it into a priming solution or after you use it for priming, then you'll start to notice it really come out in flavor. Typically, you'll want to use it in blondes and that sort of thing if you're going to add a full pound. But any other beer will go ahead and support the sweet structure, but I would avoid using it with bocks that are already very sweet in character. Now at the end, you will also probably try your hand at brewing a batch of mead, which is a fascinating experience. Now there are some antimicrobial properties to do with honey, so what I generally do is I only boil for about 20 minutes. I add a first 5 pounds in at about boil. I add 5 pounds in at 10 minutes out, and then my last 5 pounds in at about 5 minutes left to boil or flame out, depending on what I'm going for as far as the aromas are concerned. Now, one of the reasons why you want to do this is to go ahead and maintain as much of the character of both the flavor and the aroma as you can. You don't want to boil it, like I said, for any longer than 20 minutes. Otherwise, you start boiling those things out. Plus, if you boil it during the spring or the summer, you will be molested by bees. I would encourage you to go with a local producer of honey for 2 reasons. The first among them is that you can get some artisanal honeys. These honeys can be produced by pollinating or getting the pollen from specific crops, things like blackberries and raspberries, that will give your honey a different flavor and therefore your beer a very different flavor. Second among them is honey is, interestingly enough, one of the most broadly counterfeited products, and you probably will not run into that with a local producer. They have a very high bar that they set for themselves, and you are unlikely to get a counterfeit product from them because they want you to keep coming back. Also, those artisanal honeys will come up with some interesting meads. Now, you may see some recipes that call for a dry mead. I have brewed meads with both 10 pounds and 15 pounds of honey per 5 gallons, and they are the same sweetness. The difference is in the alcohol content, so don't be fooled there. Now, you can add some interesting flavors, fig, you can add cinnamon, add some apple cider for some apple cinnamon mead. It's a very flexible and interesting thing to work with. Do be cautious, just like you are with your beer as far as sanitation is concerned. You don't have hops to limit the growth of the bacteria, but like I said, honey does still have some antimicrobial properties, so your honey is likely to be consumed by the mead yeast if you give it the proper nutrients. Please give me a like if you learned something, and until next time, happy brewing.